Good morning, welcome back to Farmer's Wife Homestead. I'm Stacey if this is the first time we're meeting. This is going to be a follow-up video on my new Instant Pot and how it's been going and the things that I've kind of learned. I've probably used it almost every single day since that last video that I made where I was very frustrated with it. Thank you for all your comments. There were so many of you that said that you've got the same problem with the Instant Pot Pro and with the slow cooker function, but I have managed to work around it. So we'll get into that a little bit soon. And also a viewer gave me a really good idea in the comments as well. So that was brilliant. I just, so I will show you what she mentioned. Now, I'm just going to share a couple of things that I've been cooking in it, and we'll sort of go from there. And this will be pretty much all the recipes that I'm sharing are going to be vegetarian, so that's good for anybody that is on a vegetarian diet. But of course, you know, you could add your meat if you want to. So let's get into it. And the first thing we're going to make is baked potatoes. So love the Instant Pot or any pressure cooker to make baked potatoes. I've been making them in my old pressure cooker for years, so I thought I might show you how to do it and how I use it. But also just quickly, I saw in the comments so many people said, oh, I've got a pressure cooker, I don't know what to do with it, it's still in its box, I'm afraid to use it. So I'm going to really start doing a few more of these, Instant Pot is the brand, but pressure cooker type recipes and videos, so that you know, hopefully you can find what's the word I'm looking for, that you won't be so scared to take it out of the box and use it, for want of a better word. Alright, so I'll show you how I make my baked potatoes. Well, they're kind of going to be steamed, but they're like a baked potato. They're just not going to be crispy on the outside. But of course, if you wanted a crispy outside, you could chuck it in the air fryer for a couple of minutes to crisp up the outside. Right, I'm going to bring you down and show you how I make it. Right, I've got some bigger potatoes and I've just given them a really good wash. I'm leaving the skins on, and now I'm just going to get a little knife and I'm just going to poke holes in it. Right, and then I've got a trivet for my pressure canner, so I'm going to pop that in, and then I'm going to, for this size pressure canner, and you have to look in your instruction book yourself, but this is an 8 litre, so I need to put minimum 2 cups of water. My smaller machine, it was only 1 cup of water, so check your recipe book for that. What you want to do is you want to use hot water because it will slow down the time that it takes to come up to pressure. If you can use cold if you want, but it's going to take longer because it's got to heat up that water first. So if you start with hot water, it's up to you. You can even use boiling water if you want to, and then it's even quicker. So if you're in a real rush, you know, so yeah, I like to use hot water, just run the tap for a bit until I can't have my hand in there, and then I will I will put my 2 cups of water in the bottom of my pressure cooker. So I'm just going to pop, there was a not so nice bit on this potato, so we're going to, you want to try and get the potatoes to be about the same size. As you can see, mine aren't. That's a long, skinnier shape, that's small, that's a big fat, you know, shape. So so this potato might be a bit overcooked by the time these ones cook, but these were the only 3 potatoes that I had left for making baked potatoes, so I'm going to cook them all at once, and then one's going to be my lunch and the rest can go in the fridge. And if somebody wants a baked potato with their meal, then it's already in the fridge pre-prepped. Alright, so for this size potato, I would call these large potatoes, so you're going to want to pressure can them for 25 to 30 minutes. So we'll go with 25 and we'll see how they are. For smaller potatoes, you can get away with 15 to 20 minutes. Medium potatoes, about 20 to 25 minutes. Alright, so I'm just going to pop my lid on. Turn it on. So, pop the lid on. Once you hear that little jingle, you know that the lid's on properly. Again, every machine's going to be different, so you want to, you know, read up on your book and have a look. But as I said, you want your minimum amount of water. If you're going to pressure cook something for a long time, you would probably put just a little bit more water in, but this is fine. So for this machine, I'm going to push pressure cook, and it automatically pops my thing onto sealing. And then I'm going to use custom. I want high pressure, and then we'll go for 25 minutes, and then I push start. Alright, so that's how you do it with that machine. So up top, this is what I mean for this pressure canner. It's on the seal, it's in the upright position, and if it's venting, I have it down here. So like I said, with this Pro Instant Pot, it does it automatically for me when I press pressure cook. Otherwise you have to do it manually yourself. And then this one's got this special cover that goes over the steam vent to make it a lot quieter, which is quite cool. It's a good feature. So yeah, there's the front of it. So it's got pressure cook, rice grains, steam, saute, slow cook, sous vide, and bake. So far I've used the saute, the pressure cook, the bake, and it's got yogurt. I don't know how I missed that. And I've used the slow cook. Don't know if you can pick up on it, but I can hear that is already starting to boil. It is super, super quick, really, really quick. And this Instant Pot comes up to pressure way faster than my old machine. Alright, so we'll give that the 25 minutes, and I will come back when that is done, and then we will move on to the next thing that we're going to cook in there, which is going to be a quick mac and cheese. I've probably made about 3 in the last few weeks that I've had this machine, because it's just so quick and convenient. And I've even got one of my daughters, or 2 of my daughters, have got into making the mac and cheese in this in their pressure cookers, and they've just got cheapy versions. I do have a video on how to make mac and cheese in this, but it was like one of my first videos, and I think it really needs updating. So we're going to make mac and cheese, and then we're also going to slow cook a veggie soup. So one of the good things about this one is it tells you what stage it's up to. So at the moment it's on preheating, and then once it comes up to pressure it moves to cooking, and then it will slowly go up, and then it will change to keep warm afterwards. 3 minutes to go. And then what I will do is I will just toggle, move that toggle down to vent instead of natural release. I could leave it on natural release, but I want to get on to making some other things. Okay, so it's done. Just watch the steam. I have to watch out for my plant. Move it for a little bit. I'm just going to release all the steam, and then we'll come back. And notice this little silver button is up. You want that to be down before you can open the lid. Gosh, haven't done that for a while. I thought I'd pushed record, but I wasn't. So anyway, it had finished. It's going to have to release the steam again and just refilm what I'd said. Just waiting for this to pop down again. But basically the 2 big ones weren't quite ready, but the smaller one was. So I'll show you what I mean. So I've got a knife and I can just feel there's still resistance in these bigger ones. So I've added a little bit of extra water, maybe about half a cup. Put the lid back on. This automatically has sealed, and I'm just going to turn it back on, and this time I will cook it maybe, I'm going to go 12 minutes. And then press start. So I'll bring you back after that. So basically it's absolutely fine to just open up the lid after, you know, the safety measures, and if it's not ready you can put it back down and then just recook for a little bit longer. It's the same if you're slow cooking something, or I've absolutely loved doing corned beef in there. Let me know in the comments if you would love to see my corned beef meal recipe. The corned beef meal recipe that I do, I've been making since I've been cooking, probably pretty much since I've been cooking, but I love to use the pressure canner to do it instead of boiling it, and it basically steams it instead, and it's less waterlogged and it is so tender. And then I do some special potatoes, just letting me know that it's cooking already because it's already heated up, so it doesn't take very long if you need to do it a second time. Anyway, I make special potatoes, and it's the only time I ever make these potatoes is when I make corned beef. It's my absolute favourite. So if you want to see how I make corned beef, let me know in the comments if that's a video that you would be interested in. It's actually, it's for our size family. I like to get extra so that we can have cold corned beef as well. Or I make my corned beef hash, and I do have a video that I will link in the description. But it's just my favourite. So it costs about 20 bucks for 20 to 25 for a good size piece for our size family. And so it's an okay, well, it's economical, you know, because you can, I do have it so that we've got extras so it can go for 2 meals. I'm really jumbling my words today. Anyway, I've just prepped everything for the mac and cheese, and but I need to make sure that these potatoes are done so that I can pop them in the fridge once they're cold. But I will show you how I like to have my baked potatoes for my lunch. The mac and cheese will go with dinner because I've taken out a freeze meal that I did. It's the lemon pepper chicken. Actually, I might leave that out for a little bit just to thaw a bit more before I cook it. Yeah, it's from a freezer meal video that I did, and we're going to have that tonight and have the side of mac and cheese with it, and some, maybe a salad or something like that. Okay, the toggle's gone down. I can safely open this, open it away from your face, and let's have a check and see how it's going. Perfect. Right, I've got, what one will I have for my lunch? Probably that one there. I'll put these two away and to cool down, and they can go in the fridge. Right, I'm just going to take this out, and then I'm going to reset the pressure cooker. Okay, so I'll show you how I like my baked potatoes in a second. We'll get the mac and cheese going. First thing I love about this one is it's got the silicone handles. Give it a good wash. I buy my pasta in 5 kilo bags, and this is the sort of the macaroni sized pasta. but you can use any pasta you like. I don't actually use a recipe as such for this one. So I'm just going to pop in some pasta in the bottom, and then I'm going to heat up that water again, and it needs to have again at least 2 cups. That's not enough to cover the pasta, so that's better. I'll show you. So you just want it so that all the pasta is just covered. That's probably a little bit too much, but that's okay. Better to have too much than not enough. Alright, so that's what I mean about, oh, I didn't put 2 cups of pasta in here. I usually, when I used to buy the 500 gram packs, I would put a whole pack in, and then we'd have some for dinner and then some for leftovers the next day. So I also like to pop in a little bit of some vegetable stock or chicken stock, just for a little bit of flavour to go into that, and just a tiny bit of salt, because the stock has salt in it as well. You could also use liquid stock, either vegetable or chicken, and that will give your pasta more flavour as well. Okay, again, that's popped on to sealed, and now I'm going to show you what we're going to cook this at. Alright, so now I'm going to pressure cook. I always do custom. I just prefer to do custom. It's going to be on high, and it needs to be 4 minutes, or around, you know, it depends how long your pasta takes. If it's a bigger pasta, they say half, but I find 4 minutes is pretty good. So 4 minutes, and turn it on. Alright, and that shouldn't take long to preheat because I've already used hot water. I forgot to show you one step. So I put my onion in now instead of using the saute function, so that the onion cooks with the pasta. It just saves me a step. And of course, if you wanted to, got some onion skins, if you wanted to do it with bacon, you could saute the bacon and the onions together before you do the pasta, and just like take the bacon and the onions out. But yeah, I like to cook the onions at the same time as the pasta, so I just stopped it before it went any further. Right, I'll wash my hands. Go and get some butter out of the freezer because I forgot to take some out yesterday. Yum. Gosh, I think I should have done the smaller one. Never mind. A little bit of butter. And I like flaky sea salt, so I'm going to put a little bit of that. Potatoes need salt. Then I've got the big sour cream that I use. It's the best. So I like some sour cream on the top and spring onion. That's to say that mac and cheese is now, the pasta is now cooking. So to me, that is the perfect baked potato. Yum. You of course could put bacon on top, and baked potatoes are so brilliant. I love doing a baked potato bar where you can have lots of different fillings, like, you know, nacho mince and all that sort of Mexican type mince or whatever. But this is my favourite way of having it, just with butter, sour cream, spring onions and a bit of salt. Perfect. I'm going to have this now for my lunch while I wait for the pasta to cook. It's counting down 4 minutes. I won't finish that in 4 minutes, but I'll eat the rest while the mac and cheese is cooking. I legit sat down. I've had 3 bites of that potato and this is already done. That's how quick this mac and cheese is. Okay, so my venting is up, obviously. My pin is up. This is finished. I'm going to vent it because this machine has this special doohickey here. It doesn't splurt as much because pasta does have a tendency to splurt because of the starches in it, in the water. So you can pop a paper towel over the top if you just have one of these sorts of vents, and that will help with the splutter. But I've got this one, so we'll vent it. In the meantime, so good. It's just so soft and tender. And I love that I can pre-prep some and have some in the fridge for another weeknight dinner. And I can either reheat them in the pressure cooker like probably 3 minutes, or you could put it in your air fryer and heat it that way. But personally, it would probably be faster to do it this way. Oh, sorry, my phone is right there. Right, I'm going to show you what to do once this pops down. Okay, now let's pins come down. Open this away from my face. Get a wooden spoon. Right, so there's still quite a bit of water. I knew there would be. So just check your water level. I need to drain some of that off because I don't want all of that water in my mac and cheese. Okay, so there's definitely still a little bit of water there. You do want some, but just not as much as that. So as I said, it doesn't matter how much pasta you use or how much water you put in. You can tweak it. Right, so now I'm going to just turn this onto saute. And I'm going to just do the setting that I need. Okay, so that's on saute. I like to use cream to make it a nice creamy mac and cheese, but you could use milk. Again, I'm not using an exact recipe, so I'm just popping in some cream. To be honest, that was probably about a cup worth. All right, then I pop in some cheese. The great thing about this is you don't have to make a separate cheese sauce, and you actually end up using less cheese, I find. If I make a cheese sauce, if I make it the old-fashioned way, I use far more cheese. So that's about a cup of grated mild cheese, and then I've got like a tiny little bit of frozen leftover parmesan. So I'm just going to chuck that in. You can pop whatever cheese you like in there. So at the moment it's all watery looking. It's not looking amazing, but it will. I quite often like to put cream cheese, a couple of tablespoons of cream cheese in there as well. And it gives it an even more creamy flavour. So I'm just going to season this. With some salt and pepper. Not too much salt because you've already seasoned the pasta while it was cooking, and the parmesan has got salt in that as well. So now we're just going to let that start cooking, and then it will start thickening up and become a beautiful mac and cheese. I forgot that I used less pasta than what I normally do because I only wanted it for a side. So the cup of cream was too much for that amount of pasta. If you were doing a 500 gram bag or a roughly 1 pound bag, you would do about a cup, half a cup to a cup. But that's okay, because if you put in too much milk or cream, you just keep it cooking and it will
it will thicken up. It's just going to take a little bit longer. So I'll just keep cooking that down on a lower heat, and once it's all thick and it's more coating the pasta, then it'll be ready. You could also add mustard, either mustard powder or pre-made mustard. It's quite nice, a nice flavour in there. And sometimes I add garlic in there too. See, all the liquid's just about gone, but it's still not quite coating the pasta as much as I'd like. So just give it a little bit longer. Alright, it's perfect. It's only been a couple of minutes later, and I've stayed by it, and I've given it a couple of good stirs, but now it's coating the pasta. It'll also thicken up on standing as well, so that's perfect. Easy peasy mac and cheese, great side dish. From here you could you know, add back your bacon and pop it into a baking dish and then put cheese over it, or you could put some grated cheese over the top, close the lid down and just put it on to keep warm, and it'll melt the cheese. That would be fine too, but this is such a quick. I'll turn this off now. Delicious. See how creamy that is? I only ate half of that potato. That was enough to fill me up. So good. And I'm not just saying that. Such minimal ingredients, and you know, pretty much hands off apart from a couple of stirs at the end. Delish. Yum. So now I've got another side to have, and also some lunches to have. So I'm going to clean up the pot, and then we're going to get some vegetables organised. It's a great clean out the fridge type soup, and yeah, that's basically what we're going to do. We're going to get a soup mix base, and we will talk more about the slow cook function when we do that. Okay, quickly, I have got 3 pucks of my you know, crushed up garlic. I've got 2 onions, I have some celery, I have 3 medium potatoes grated, a carrot, 3 carrots grated, and I've got the tops of some celery. And I also have this in New Zealand, it's called Mackenzie's soup mix, and it's got barley, split peas and lentils in there. So I haven't used this brand before, so I'm going to give them a go. I usually use I think it's called King's soup mix, but I saw this and thought, oh, I might just give this a go. Alright, so I've got my pressure cooker already. Now, what I found with this particular Instant Pot Pro 8 litre is, as you know, if you have seen the video, if you haven't, I will link it at the end. The slow cook function is known to not work in this machine. It cannot heat up to an appropriate level of large quantities of liquid. So I had, when I tried to do a soup last, I had 5 litres of liquid in here, and it would never get out of preheat. It just didn't have the oomph to do it. So I've since used it as a slow cooker successfully since then. I wanted to do a whole honey baked ham, and I put 2 cups of water down the bottom. I put the ham on the trivet, and then I put slow cook on, and it worked absolutely fine. It got out of the preheat function, went into cooking, and then went into keep warm after the allocated hours that I had it in there cooking away, and it was fine. So I think what the problem is, it just cannot heat up large volumes of water
and keep it at that level, and that's why it cannot get out of preheat. Do I think that you could cook something on preheat for a long length of time as others suggested? Maybe, but if I was doing chicken or any meat, I don't know that I would want to. I can't guarantee what temperature. I mean, I guess if I took the temperature of how hot the preheat is, but it definitely didn't get up to boil. So I wouldn't be comfortable with that, and that's why I ended up pressure cooking the chicken and the rest of the soup to make sure that it got up to a decent heat. A lovely viewer suggested that we could, if we wanted to, put it on the saute function on the lowest setting, because this one has settings for the saute function, and I thought that was a great idea. So I've since done a loaded baked potato soup, and I did it on the lowest setting, and that worked pretty well, pretty perfectly actually. So I'm going to chuck all my ingredients in. Celery tops, and we are basically going to want to cover that. Again, I'm using hot water. You could use stock if you've already got stock made up. I don't. It's something that is on my list, is to get more stocks. I think that's 6 cups. That's 8, I think. I did 8. I might do more. And then I'm going to put a cup of the soup mix, or roughly a cup. Maybe even half a cup. About half a cup. And I'm just going to give that a stir. Right, so getting back to what I was suggesting. So you've got 2 options. Yeah. 2 options from here. As I said, I won't be bothering with the slow cook function because I know it will not get up to temp to start the cooking process. So you could pressure cook the soup and it would be brilliant. It'll cook it really fast, but I want to show you that it actually does work if you just use the saute function. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use the saute function. I'm going to show you how I set it. And then I'm going to pop the top on, have it on venting because we're not pressure canning, and I'm just going to let it sit for, slowly cook for, we'll have a look and we'll see what it's like after an hour and a half. No, maybe an hour. We'll check it after an hour, and because it is a higher heat than technical slow cook. The last soup that I did was an hour and that was fully cooked. So we'll just see how these lentils and barley are after an hour. So we'll go from there. Yes, the other thing, sorry to mention, is that what I will do is I will heat this up using the highest setting to start with so that everything is piping hot, and then I'll turn it down. Alright, I hope I'm making sense, but I'll show you anyway. I'm going to add some salt and pepper to this as well, and I will add a couple of tablespoons of vegetable stock, because I used just plain water. I need to get some veggie stock going. Right, so we're going to turn the saute on. I want to use custom, yes, push that. I want the highest heat, and then I want to do it for 15 minutes. Okay, and then I'm going to push start, and it's on preheating now. Once it gets up to cooking, it's probably going to be fairly hot, and then I will turn it down to the lowest level, so that lowest level there. Okay, so the steam is coming out. The vent is still on venting, and the pin has popped up because of all the steam. So I've just shut it off. Okay, so that
And once the pin comes down, I can then open the lid and then give it a stir, and then I'm going to set it on slow cook. Okay, that's come down, so it's safe for me to open. Just going to have a quick look and see how it all looks. Already smells yum. Good. Perfect. That's piping hot. Okay, so now I'm just going to close the lid again, turn it to vent. This time I'm going to turn the saute function on, custom, and dial it right back. And I'll have a look at it in, say, an hour, see how far off it is. There, and we'll just slowly cook that soup. It does seem like an extra bit of mucking around, and that's all good. You know, it's up to you whether you want to do it this way, and you could also try the slow cook function. If you've got the Pro, try it and see if it works from boiling hot liquid, but yeah, it just hasn't in my cooking in the last couple of weeks. So this is the best way that I've found to navigate around that slow cook function. Of course, any other multi-cookers slash pressure cooker, your slow function will probably function. Regardless, I decided to keep the Instant Pot because I really wanted the stainless steel thing. It just seemed like so much of a hassle to get it shipped back, you know, trip into town, all those sorts of things, when the main reason why I got it was not for the slow cook function. I got it as a pressure canner. So, and as a pressure canner, it's working amazing. So that's kind of my uptake on it now. Absolutely loving it. Yeah, highly recommend it. And I'm just going to get a slow cooker, which is okay. I used to have one, and I'll get a nice big one that will fit, you know, a lot of stuff in there, so that maybe I could like really slow cook things. So yeah, I mean, but as a pinch, this is how you can use the Instant Pot Pro and sort of semi-slow cook things. But as I said, it works perfectly with the small amount of liquid. The slow cooker works perfectly. So I just want to reiterate that, so there's no confusion. It's just with these big soups, it says too much liquid, because it heats from the bottom and not around the sides, which as a slow cooker does, which, you know, yeah. Anyway, I'm going to go and put my legs up. My knee is sore, and do a bit of computer work, and I will see you in an hour, and we'll check on the soup and see how it's going. It's already counting down, and it's in the cooking function already. So yeah, I'll see you in an hour. Right, ended. The pin is down. Safe for me to open. Let's have a look and see how far along it is. Smells absolutely delicious. Right, let's feel. Barley sun, it's all done. Split peas are done. So in an hour, just nice, slow, soft. I didn't want to pressure cook it. Oh, I can't tell you how good that smells. Yum. It just smells so good. So yes, it was only an hour, so technically not a slow cook, but at least it was hands off, you know what I'm saying? So there is a way around it. And if it was a big thick piece of meat, for instance, like a roast beef or something like that, you could put it in and use the saute function and cook it for a few hours, and I'm sure it would come out extremely tender. So that's just a way around, and I think I'm really sorry, I can't even remember the name of the person that suggested it on the original video, but yeah, that works really well. Yeah, so that's it in a nutshell.
I hope you enjoyed today's video. Sorry, my dog Trix is going to start barking because I can see husband driving up the driveway as we speak. And I am definitely looking forward to making more pressure cooker meal videos. But do let me know if you want to see my full recipe dinner for corned beef with all the trimmings. I hope you're well, and I hope to see you on the next one. Trix says goodbye as well. All right, thanks for joining me today. Take care. Bye.